without a vision for their future ends up returning to their past. It's a very important thing to have. Ladies and gentlemen, my lovely Toastmaster of the day, a very good evening to all of you.
Good evening. Good evening.
Why we need a vision in the organization? The answer is very simple. We need a vision because we want to know where we are heading to and for what. Not only us at the top management, we need our people to know where we are all together heading to and for what. So there is a journey and there is a goal, isn't it? And equally both are important, right? Because to realize a vision, we don't need only the top management's effort, we need the collective effort of the people who are working down the line as well. Because together we are all working in a journey, we are going towards a goal in one journey. It's a one journey. So we need to articulate a vision statement which will help and motivate our people throughout the time so that we are all putting a collective effort. I'll share an example with you of a very renowned company, Samsung. The vision is that to inspire the world with innovative technologies, products and designs that enrich people's lives. This is not a complete vision statement. Why it is not a complete vision statement? Because of this. It's not that Samsung has not defined the vision properly, it's because Kapil has not copy-pasted it completely. Right? The vision statement has two components. Very simple. One is the core ideology. What is the core ideology? The core ideology is the belief. The core belief which the organization has, which defines what is the purpose of my existence. Why do I exist as a company? Right? There has to be a purpose. So that is, the belief defines the core ideology. Together with the envisioned future. What is the envisioned future? It is a very well crafted, quantitatively and qualitatively, the dreams which the organization wants to achieve, the goals. So we have two things to frame a vision statement. One is the core ideology, which is a belief which defines what is the purpose of our existence, and the second is the future goals. For example, the core ideology of Walt Disney is to continuously progress via creativity, dreams and imagination to make people happy. This is the core ideology which the Walt Disney has defined for them. Another example for envisioned future for General Electric is, which is, you remember that I told you that the envisioned future is a very qualitative or quantitative goal, right? So the envisioned future for General Electric is become number one in every market we serve, right? Now I have not put the example of one company together because I want you to think more. Let's go back again to the core ideology. Core ideology is basically a combination of core values and the core purpose, right? And what is the core ideology? The important thing to understand on core ideology is that it does not change. What do you think? Can core ideology of any company change? The belief, the purpose, why they exist can change? Whatever product comes, whatever market change, whatever new technology comes in, the core belief, the core ideology doesn't change. Right? What changes is the strategy to realize, to go till the goal. Now, how to define a core ideology? The core ideology consists of core values and the core purpose. And what are the core values? The guiding principles. In our company, we have seen all good gold, this core values on the walls, right? Very well preserved, right? Now, these core values are the operating principles. And what is the core purpose? It's a fundamental reason why we exist. Now, the company Merck, which is a pharmaceuticals, what is the core ideology of Merck? To preserve and improve the human life. the Walmart. The core ideology is that which will never change whatever the situation is. It will never change. To give ordinary folk the chance to buy the same things as the rich people. 3M, the core ideology which will never change. To solve unsolved problems innovatively. These are the core ideologies based on which they define their vision statements. But not only this core values or core ideologies or core purposes going to define the vision statement, we need another thing which is the envisioned future, which changes, which basically progresses towards the future. It also consists of two subcomponents, which is the vision level goals, which we can say for a 10 to 30 years goal, and some vivid description. A description which will be basically which the organization defines that what we want to achieve as a goal. For example, the big goal or the vision level goal can be becoming a $125 billion company by the year 2020. Right? Now, this is not the core ideology. Please keep it in mind. It is not core ideology. It is the envisioned future, the definition of envisioned future. And what is a vivid description? With the equipment we have supplied, science will be advanced, knowledge increased, and human life will have a greater freedom from suffering and disease. Now, the vision statement has four components, starting from the core ideology, which is having the core values and the core purpose, and the envisioned future, which has the big goal, which is mostly we are all aware of actually in our organizations. We are hardly aware of how to preserve the values in our heart, how to work on the core ideology. We are more towards what is the envisioned future, what is the target I have to achieve, right? Plus the vivid description, which is across the company everybody has a different description. They don't have a uniform description. Now putting all these things together, let me share an example of Sony. Sony was established in 1950 and their core ideology that time was the core values, elevation of the Japanese national culture and status, because that time Japan was just coming out of the World War II and there was nothing, and the products of Japan were always treated as a very shabby products, unreliable products. And being a pioneer, not following the others, but doing the impossible. And their purpose, the core purpose which they defined was to experience the sheer joy of innovation and the application of technology for the benefit and pleasure of the general public. Now we need the envisioned future as well. So big goals, as I said, it can be qualitative, it can be quantitative. So the big goal was become the company most known for changing the worldwide image of Japanese products as being of poor quality. And the vivid description was, we will create products that become pervasive around the world, success with innovation, well-known brand on earth, made in Japan will mean something fine, not surely. So together, it became the vision statement of Sony company. Because not only the vision statement, which is the core ideology, right? In your organization, if you see, you will find that there is a vision statement, there are values. What about the vivid description? Does everyone have the same understanding of the core ideology? Does everyone has the same understanding of the values? Sony, what is it now? Established in 1946 with only $530 in capital and total of 8 employees. In 2012, list of Fortune global companies, in 500 it was ranked as 87th. So, coming back to the framework of the vision. The framework of the vision is made up of two components. One is the core ideology and the second is the envisioned future. Now, together, it's not a separate statement which will work. It is working together in a yin-yang force, complementary interplay forces which are helping each other to grow. That is how the big companies, which are built to last companies, which are very visionary companies, they always say, preserve the core purpose. You should never let it go. Preserve the core and progress towards the future. Thank you very much.